Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle and triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. I'd like to talk about disempowering beliefs with you.
Okay.
Have you had any disempowering beliefs in your past?
I think that growing up, I was always, the star student, but I was always a square peg in the round hole, right? So I studied really hard. I did everything I was supposed to. I followed all the rules. Like I honestly, this is the God honest truth. I would stay up at night and read like the dictionary and the encyclopedia because I was so thirsty for learning.
Wow.
But I wasn't social. I just never fit in correctly. And so that was something that just stayed with me of, trying to be accepted. And that was part of that breaking free of like letting go of all that stuff that used to go through my head every night. But also, I think it still surfaces every once in a while. And in rebuilding my business, I'm leaving that behind. I'm not going to get stuck in the, you can't, you won't, you don't know how to do this. You're not the top, you're not the in crowd, you're not the winner. And, some of that is having a great, like you mentioned, mentors. I've had several great business mentors, but I have one that is become like a very close friend and I truly admire, Katie Horner. And I called her up one night in the midst of, like cyber attack and moving cross country and, clients not being able to afford by January 2021, aside from the cyber attack and everything, 90% of my clients either couldn't afford me or gone out of business. So I was literally like, everything was starting from scratch. And I called her up and I'm like, what do I do? Actually, I sent her a frantic, panicking text and she's like, we're talking. And so she called me and she's like, you are not looking for a job. You are not listing things on eBay. You're not finding things to sell on Marketplace. Like, you are going to do this. You can do this. So she said, you're going to find a way. So like, make a list of what you can do. And I met with her the next day and I said, okay, well, this is what I'm thinking I can do. And I have like a 6-month plan. And she's like, no, take out your calendar, find a time on Monday. You're doing a webinar. You're launching this. And I was like, but really, and I didn't have really 6 months, like I needed to pay bills, but in my mind, it was a 6-month process. And that's what I did. And I've slightly shifted from that original but that was what got my business going again. I made 3 sales at the webinar. And I just kept going. I did another one in 2 weeks and I refined from there. I built my network. I built up LinkedIn from nothing to now I have like 3,000 people on there or something, and have become known as a LinkedIn expert. And really, it's like people keep saying, like, why are you a LinkedIn expert? And it's like, because I didn't have a choice. Like, I had to become a LinkedIn expert. I had to make this work. And it was like, this is what I have. And I am going to figure out how to use it. I mean, I had a background in digital marketing, so I guess that helped. But I didn't just sit and wait for things to happen or complain about the algorithm changing. I was like, I need to make this work. And I have no money to spend on ads and I can't hire somebody to do it for me. I just need to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. When you ran that webinar, did you run an ad for that or you just put it up on social media?
No, I didn't run an ad because I had like no money because everything was gone and we had just moved. And so I just put it up on social media. Like I did what I knew how to do as far as organic reach. And I put it on Facebook and I put it on LinkedIn because I had reestablished Facebook by that point. And I shared it with everybody that I knew. And I sent, emails to people and invited people. And I think I had like 15 or 20 people show up or something.
Wow.
And it was very short notice.
Did you do it live?
I did it live, yes.
Very cool. Wow.
And I had like 3 people buy in, and it wasn't my best webinar ever, but it was like, okay, like I can do this. It was that little bit of boost that I needed. So I just kept going. Yeah.
So literally just in 1 week, you put together like a package, a value, a sales pitch, and then just freaking flung it out there.
I pitched a course that I didn't even have together. I had a title for it. I knew what I wanted the vision to be, and that was all I had. And I thought, well, if it doesn't work, like, I don't have the 6 months to pull it together. And then 3 people buyed in, and, I was very transparent that like, I'm doing a special price because you are like founders, and I'm building this as you go through it. And it was a good experience because they got to help me build it. Like, I got their feedback and what I needed to cover and such. So it was a big thing, but it was great. And then I did it a couple more times and sold other people into it, and then just got the ball rolling and kept refining from there into what I would offer.
Of course. Wow. That's so cool. Yeah. That's so cool to hear, because I've thought of that a few times, but just too nervous. So I always take the months, to plan it out before I actually put it up there. Yes. But every once in a while I think about that, because the time and the energy to do it is so much. It's like, it would be nice if there was some like money beforehand to kind of support the process of it. So that's cool.
Yes. And proof of concept. Like, if nobody's going to buy it.
Yes. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I appreciate that. So speaking of all of this business, what do you do? Tell us what you do. Who are you? How do you help humankind?
So I help people cut through the noise and get visible online, but without tricks and hacks that either just give you vanity numbers that never convert, or change when the algorithm changes, which right now seems to be all the time. But with proven, scalable, sustainable techniques that educate your audience in what you offer, how to get it, why they need it, through value-rich and engaging content that sets you up as an expert, and strategic engagement with your ideal client.
Wow, that's so cool. What platform do you work with? All of them, or is there like specific platforms that you work with where?
I have experience with all of them, and I take more of a holistic marketing approach where I look at how you're showing up everywhere. In 2022, my main focus is LinkedIn and helping people, because there's so many people on there that are there but don't really know how to use it to its greatest potential. And so that is where I'm starting, but really they all need to be working together. But we start with LinkedIn, and then we look at how that relates to everything else that you're doing.
Very cool. Yes. So if somebody we have people watching live right now, if somebody's still hanging out here, who should be contacting you?
The people that should be contacting me are those who are frustrated with, like Facebook or let's say Instagram, that they're not finding the quality clients that can pay them, or they're not finding those qualified leads and they're spending a lot of time on it. I'm not saying you can't do Facebook and Instagram, but LinkedIn is a platform built on qualified leads. 41% of the millionaires in the world are on LinkedIn. They're not on Facebook. So those people who are looking to scale their business but don't want to waste money on ads, or don't have money to spend on ads, and want to understand how to up-level their business in an organic way that has the leads coming to them.
Wow, that's fantastic. Very cool. And then do you have a website? What's the website?
I do have a website. It is scalemybusinessonlinkedin.com, and I can put that in the show.
Is it actually for real? Just like Scale My Business
on LinkedIn.com. And I'm trying to find it here, and it's not
like this for real.
Yeah, here, I'll copy and paste it. That's what it is. Here we go. Yes, scalemybusinessonlinkedin.com. That is my LinkedIn website for what I'm doing in 2022. and also busy, very active on LinkedIn. And I have a series of workshops that are starting next Wednesday that will teach you how to create posts that people want to comment on and that get you leads, how to get in front of your ideal client and create a pipeline of leads on LinkedIn, and how to optimize your profile so that you get more visibility and attract the people that you want. So I can leave a link for that as well.
Awesome. Is a lot of your stuff geared towards writing since you're a writer, or do you appreciate video, or how are you doing that right now?
I do a little bit of both. I myself am working on improving my own video, but I coach people in their video strategy and in writing the post, but also in how they show up online in general, like how they engage with other people, just their general presence. I also am well versed in SEO, so I know the behind the scenes strategies, and I pull that all together to make a marketing plan that is individualized, but still goes along with the best practices for who they're trying to reach and what they're trying to accomplish.
That's awesome. So, as far as your story and, the journey, the crazy journey, some of it forced and some of it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of looking back and also kind of taking into consideration your clients and who you're working with, what would be your definition of success?
I've really refined that over the past year or so. I used to keep thinking, I need to get to a certain level and, the keep up with the Joneses thing. Not that I ever bought into that, but I felt like there was a lot of outside pressure from that. But right now it's just having the time and the money to live the life that I want to. And I've realized that in 2022, I have income goals, but my income goals are so that I can create more time. Like most of what I'm scaling is scaling my team so that I have more time to spend in my garden, to spend with my kids, to work with my animals, and just to create that day, like that perfect day. And there's some days like Tuesdays are crazy for me. I'm back to back to back. So this is not my perfect day, but this is building so that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have more of that time and freedom to do that. And that I can be picky about the clients that I take on. You're talking about like surviving narcissistic people. I've worked with some of them, and I thought that I had to because I have to take this client to make my business work, or I have to make them happy, and I realized that I don't have to. I've been much more choosy about my clients lately, and it's like I'm only going to work with the people that I know are going to work with me, and that I'm going to, and it's not just the money, like that I'm going to get the life that I want out of it. I don't want to be laying awake at 3:00 in the morning worrying about this client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes they do that. Awesome. What would be some advice you'd give to females who are struggling right now with their self-worth? They're just going through some crap right now and it's dark. What would you say to them?
I would say step back and take a deep breath, because a lot of times when we get in the dark, we're just so deep into it that we can't look at anything, right? We're just going through the motions. And just really think of ask yourself those hard questions that you think maybe you don't have the chance to ask, but everybody has opportunity if you create it. So like you said, what does success look like for you? Like ask those questions. It was, when you're locked up in your house and like all the businesses are falling apart or whatever. And you if we could live anywhere, where would we live? And it wasn't that, we had $1 million fall out of the sky, or, and McMahon showed up and said, hey, I have a new house for you. We were very blessed in the opportunities that we were given, but it was asking those hard questions, like, how can we make this work? And what do we need to do to make this work? So asking those hard questions and not being afraid to reach out to people
Yeah.
Just be honest with them, like I was with my mentor that night when I was like, this is just like, what am I doing? We moved my family saying that we could live on my business, and now my business is like collapsing, and I've had the worst year ever in 2020, even though I worked harder than I've ever worked. And I could have just said, delete, I'm done, and move on. But where would I have moved to, and would I have been happy doing that? So I think that you need to realize that you have more power than you believe, you have more potential than you believe, and you have more opportunity than you believe. And it's all how you frame it. Is that cyber attack where I've been ravaged and I have nothing and now I have no worth online? Or is that an opportunity to say, well, you know what, now I can let go of those things that I didn't want to do anyway, and rebuild this with 10 years of wisdom exactly how I want it to be.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with all of that. Well said.
Thank you.
For those of you that are listening live, we so appreciate you being here and supporting the Her Version platform.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, I want to ask, is there any closing thoughts before we close up here?
I would say that even though I am a digital marketer and I spend a lot of time on social media, I don't advocate for people to put their self-worth into their social media. We get caught up in how many likes do we have? How many followers do we have? How many platforms are we on? And all of those are those vanity metrics that I talk about. In the end, they don't change your life or your business, right? It's the relationships that you're building and the strategies that you're putting in place that will change your life and your business. And so social media is a great thing because, like we got to connect. I have clients around the world. I have friends around the world. But don't put your self-worth in how people react to that. Learn from how they react and come up with, do it strategically. This way you get benefits out of it from your life and your business. But don't hang all your hope on, this post is going to blow it up or go viral or whatever. Because you don't want to be a one-hit wonder, right? Yeah. One-hit wonders, they come, they go, but then you have Neil Diamond who's still around, right? So you want to just keep going. Yeah.
Yes. That's great. All right. Well, this has been absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. Okay. And so much of perseverance in that story. And a story that we all need to hear, because sometimes, things happen in our life and we are just sitting on the floor and we're saying, this isn't fair. Mm-hmm. Why me? Why me? And what a great story of yes, right? Yes. Why me? Why me? And I got to keep moving. Mm-hmm. I got to keep moving. I have to get up. I have a family. I have a home. And that was great. I so appreciate you. So those of you that are watching live, I appreciate you. Those of you that are watching on the replay, please make sure you hashtag replay wherever you are so we can say hello to you. Thank you so much for all of you who have joined us here on the Her Version platform. This community is expanding every single day and is filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe. And for those of you that have a story to share of struggle, triumph, victory, success, make sure you reach out to me here at herversion.life. I am your host. My name is Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others.